Hi, guys. Welcome back to Free Failing. I'm Jess K.
I'm Jess T.
And today we have our friend Ashley Henriott with us, which I am so excited, you guys. So, Ashley is a speaker, influencer, confidence coach, and podcast host of the Confidence and Coffee podcast. She's also recently become a best-selling author of a book called Confidence is an Inside Job. Is published by Penguin Random House's Christian imprint, which I'm so excited to dive into later.
Yeah,
So,
amazing.
Ashley, thank you for being here.
Honored to be here, and it's like a full circle moment
I
'cause
know.
you are my publicist.
I know. So, you guys, we worked together on Ashley's best-selling book because she had an amazing publicist and other people involved, I guess. But
It was all you.
and so whether you're doing this as a friendly favor or not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just so
No,
happy to
this
have
is
you
an
here.
honor.
So this is fun.
Yeah, I was so giddy when you asked me.
Aw.
So, yeah, I'm
Well,
excited.
first of all, how
Yeah.
are we all getting away with this in the middle of the day? I have a day off. Jess
Mhm.
is a teacher, not back in school
Yeah,
yet. But
yeah.
I think I counted between all three of us. We have Jess has 5, you have 4, I have 3. I forgot how much. That's like 19 kids or something. So.
And Puffy. No.
How are we doing this in the middle? Are they back to school or what's the situation over there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they are back to school. They went back last Thursday, so this is their first week. Hence my
Wow.
voice being gone. This is their first official week and it's
Yeah.
Thursday. We're like,
Yeah. Get your shoes. Get your backpack.
So they've been early then. I feel like, ours don't
I
start
don't know.
till next week.
Well, I know people in the South,
Yeah.
because that's where I'm from. They started like in
Early August, right?
early
Mhm.
August.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And some people don't start till September. It's just, I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Well, you're like where I want to be. Well, we will be there next week, but I'm never ready for the first. I've done this. My oldest is 24. So I've accepted. I'll always be school shopping in the last minute. I was just saying the sports physicals I always forget like
Oh, I
what grade they need
know.
a physical.
The
So I
nurse
just,
starts calling. If you don't get
Oh my gosh. Why do I feel so seen right now?
it's awful. So congrats on you are.
yeah, you've crossed over.
Like, I love how you talk about the sports physical because I have 2 that play football, one in high school, one in middle school. That's last year middle school, second year high school, 2 in elementary, 4th in first grade, and they all play sports and gymnastics. And you just have to like say it's those little things that
I know.
not people fully understand. So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
all consuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just
Yeah.
like the car rides and yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
The
insane. But
hustle.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
congrats to us
thanks.
all for being alive.
Yeah.
So Ashley, again, thanks for coming back on or coming on for the first time. So you might know a little bit about our audience. Our heart is for women who are going through or have recently been divorced or going through like a major life transition. So it doesn't have to be divorce. It could be break off of an engagement or a hard breakup after a long
Mhm.
time or just any like major loss or heartache. And we just talk about finding abundant life after that. So I want to dive into your book and the themes of Christ-centered confidence in a while, but I just wanted to see how God has gotten you through your past relationship transitions or any heartache or loss that you've gone through. I just kind of wanted to start there and then we'll
Mm.
talk about your book in a little while.
Oh man, heartache and dysfunction. So, a little bit with my heartache. I mean, I did an interview the other day and I told them that, like, towards the end, I'm like, I've never known love or safety.
Mm.
And so, my kind of heartbreak story is a little different, but, I've been through numerous relationships. I almost got divorced recently, had a lawyer, almost separated for a year. And it was a really painful separation.
Wow.
And something that I've actually never experienced in all the pain and all the heartache and dysfunction that I've ever experienced. That separation was so hard for me because we were together for 10 years. And so healing for me looked like finally getting honest. And Jess, that transparency is a big thing for me, but I really needed to get honest. And I needed to get honest with God, with myself. I needed to get honest with what I've been tolerating
Mm.
Mm, mhm.
And I had to stop performing and stop minimizing, denying, and truly start healing. And that what that meant for me in that experience was that it was letting go of control. I was
Mm.
letting go of control and creating awareness that I did have control issues, and then sitting with grief because for my heartache and loss, I did truly experience loss. I had just lost my grandfather. A month later, my grandmother. An hour after my grandmother, my baby sister OD'd.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so sorry.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Oh gosh.
This was
right.
in this past year?
This was right before the book launch, and then the separation happened during the book launch.
I don't think I realized it was during the book launch because I don't think you were posting, obviously. So I think the timing, that's and isn't it just you're gonna get to heaven and we're gonna ask these questions like,
Yeah.
what, not 2 months later? Not, I mean, it's never a good time for any of this, but it's
No.
like, holy moly, because you probably question, like, is this an attack? Is this like, how are you supposed to process?
Oh yeah.
You're just supposed, that's, so I've written a book
Yeah.
before, and it's one of the most joyous, most monumental. There's like
Mhm.
1% of the population that has a published book by a publisher. So it's like the
Wow.
fact that the enemy, like, it makes me angry. Like, you couldn't fully only have joy and
Yeah.
celebration. It's like, but we don't know why the timing is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, all those things ran through my head, but if I can be completely honest, it did take if reflect on that, it's still very new and God's still
Mm.
writing a lot of that story, but the breaking of what was happening to me, the loss, um was bringing me to a realistic place of what truly was going on in
Wow.
my own life, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, And so, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like it seems insensitive sometimes to say God works all things together for the good or that he was doing some of these things for you, but
Mm.
it does sound like you're saying you were naked from everything that could have been your identity or yourself or what
Uh-huh.
you were controlling. Like everything was just stripped. And when you were stripped, it seems like now you can be honest with who you really are before God.
No, that's good. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it in that regard. You know, I was at the top of my, game. I'm very ambitious, right? I've wrote this book. We're about to launch it. I'm going and doing the audio book, driving to DC to record
Wow.
it myself, which is like empowering.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to be able to hear yourself, be able to truly speak to the readers. Um, and in the midst of that, I have so much hell going on. I don't know how I got through it, but I love how you said you were naked. And if we think about that biblically, like
Mhm.
I compared my season to a Job season. A man on an airplane when
Mm.
I was leaving Alabama actually looked at me and told me, you're in a Job season. I didn't even know him.
Wow.
Um, and then he offered me a Twizzler. So we became good friends. um, he was the sweetest man, but
Mhm.
it really hit me where it was like, okay, I know that God is ultimately in control and I don't understand and I'm angry with him. But when we truly are naked, like you said, we are raw. We have
Mhm.
nothing else to hold on to or hide behind like Adam and Eve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
naked and unashamed.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you said, because I know, and we'll talk about your story, which is like nationally featured on places like the 700 Club. Like, you have a profound story of God's restoration in your life. But I'm just amazed that you just said, of all the things, the trauma that you have been through, though, it was nothing, like nothing was like being separated from the biological father of your children. And you didn't even go through a divorce yet, but it
Mhm.
is grief. Like, something that I always talk about is, even if you were in love, so say you got a divorce, even if you weren't in love, or if the marriage was really hard or you're miserable at the end, actually does, even if you chose the divorce, nothing prepares you for the grief, because it's
Yeah.
a death of a marriage and it's a death of part of you. And
Mm-hmm.
especially if you share children, there is no way to describe living apart of someone you shared a life with and have children with, and just all the nuances that are involved in living two separate lives when you are one combined family until you walk through that pain, you can't describe it to people, right? It's just
No. You
and
want me to be honest with you? It's like heartache is, if I could describe heartache, I would describe it as someone you thought you knew.
yeah.
You find out you don't know it all.
Mm,
And that is painful because now the person that you knew, the
Mm,
person that you love, the person that loved you,
yeah.
right? They didn't exist.
Yeah.
So they did die, essentially.
Yes.
Like, so you're grieving someone, but you have to look at them, you have
Wow.
to talk to them
Wow.
still, you have to see them still, you have to share kids with them. It
yes.
is so unbearable
Yeah.
because you are grieving and letting go. And honestly, most of the time, someone that you never intended to, but you had to.
Uh, I can relate to this so deeply. I was married for 18 years and epic divorce. There was a lot went down, and I say this all the time. It's like grieving someone who died, but they're coming back to haunt you because they're at your
If you share
doorstep, picking
children.
up children, etc. But something that you said brought so much more dimension to that because you were talking about how they weren't who they said they were actually possibly the whole time. So it's actually like grieving backward
Mm,
because not only are you grieving the loss of what just happened, but you're grieving the loss of everything that you thought that was.
mm, mhm.
Like it
Your
was it all
dreams, yeah. Was it all a lie? And
yeah.
I walked through that. Like, was it all a lie? And we all know we want to look at pictures, but like, even that sense of like, was that real? Was that real? Was that experience real?
Yeah.
Like, what
Mm,
was I missing? Like, was
Mhm.
I lying to myself?
Yeah.
Did I lose myself somehow? Did
Mhm.
I mold myself into who I thought I needed to be for this person I put on a pedestal?
We start
Your life
gaslighting our
is
own
rough.
selves after a
yeah.
while. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels like
Yeah.
self-gaslighting. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I just wanna go back to, like, if you can think back about being in the season, so late fall, your book published this past October, walking through the winter, you shared with your followers and audience. I remember seeing the reel, like, glued to my phone, like, of your husband actually moving out, like, so
Oh.
you it was fully he moved
He had his own house.
Oh.
so it's like you were in it. And I just want to go back into how God showed up for you. Was there any
Mm.
revelations of who God was or any characteristics about
Mhm.
the Lord that you think you experienced or learned through that that you might not have otherwise if you never went through that? Because something that you just said about being naked and God removes things, and it's in there was good that came from it because you lost control that you shouldn't
Mm.
have been clinging to, and you held on to him, and God became your refuge in probably ways that he maybe you hadn't been before. That's a huge theme with us because my whole
Mm.
thing is after going through it twice now, it's like I did it the wrong way the first time with the divorce, after divorce, life after divorce. I'm doing it the right way this time because I am not running to men. I am feeling alone and solid, not in a relationship. I am learning to let God be enough because he never was before, which I didn't realize. So I mean, divorce, I think it's top three worst things you can go through in your life. But there is
Mhm.
a lot of amazing blessing and a lot of closeness to the Lord
Yeah.
that comes if you let him and if you sit in it. So if you don't mind just going back and just is there anything that God showed you or that you were like, wow, like that's a you and Jesus moment
Mm.
through that month of February, whatever the heck, that that's almost precious now,
Yeah.
you know?
You know what's crazy? Can I just say this? And I'm not even kidding. Today was the official day that we separated last year.
Wow, I still can't get over that that was August, Ashley. Listen, this girl, you would never know the way you carried on
Mhm.
like a rock star,
That is
which
amazing.
I can't, I'm shocked. But isn't that, let's sell it. Let's cheers to that. Because it's like, look where you are. I want you have good news to share. But like, isn't it amazing though, in just a year, what God can do? Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Did you ever, I
Well,
could,
first the revelatory. What did you the last question?
Okay, yeah.
The one word. Well, yeah. Um, for God in that season was unmovable.
Mm,
He was unmoved
Yeah.
by everything else that was rocking around me, including me.
Yeah.
He was
Mhm.
consistent and still, and he wasn't scared of my emotions or my anger or my
Mm. Yes.
and I clung to that. I clung to remembering from the very beginning, I was always his, and he got me through so much crap
Yep.
that he will get me through this and he's going to use it for his glory and for the good to make me better. Right? So
mm,
I held on to the story is always going to be in victory with God. And what drove me every day, like when you say you're a rock star, Jess, what drove me every day is that I knew there was going to be a moment that I was going to sit here and talk to you about restoration, whether that was single or not,
Mm. Oh my god.
because it had nothing to
Thank
do
you for
with him.
saying that, and I know you mean it, because
true.
that is a hard sentence, and isn't it amazing how you could feel the surety of God? Like, it's okay, couldn't you just talk about it forever? And, yeah, I love that you said that, 'cause, for anyone out there that doesn't know the Lord, not all of our listeners are Christians, and if you're going through a divorce or anything like this, like a hard life transition, it's worth just exploring because
Yeah.
we're all either crazy and making this stuff up, or it's like God finds a way to just make his peace known when it really makes no sense because it's,
Yeah.
yeah, just in just
My thing is like, you know, try it out, right? Like when you talk about whether you believe in God or not, like it's very um what do you have to lose? You've already lost everything. How's that going for you? Second, I don't want to go no hell. Shoot. What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? Like
you
in a
sound so much
logical,
real than
practical
that.
sense.
Yeah.
Like in a logical, practical sense. And then thirdly, like when I said he's unmovable, he also like we have to understand the concept of like he meets us where we are.
Hmm. Yes.
He's going like I think that when people are like, how do I bring God? And I know we're gonna get to that question about how I got through it and all that, whatever. But I know in this instance, I think that people have such a hard time, and I'm not saying I didn't. This has nothing to do with the emotions or the experience. But when it comes to the dynamic of the presence of God, how do you feel the presence, right? Like, how do you hold on to joy? How do you hold on to peace? Is understanding that not only does He meet us where we are, but He is not scared of your doubt and your anger. Transparency brings transformation.
Mm,
And that's all He wants.
I
That's
love that.
all He needs. Yeah. And so, I think we need to understand that we don't have to go through all these things or go to a church or talk to this counselor. I mean, therapy is wonderful.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
We love therapy.
Yeah, all the therapy.
Yeah. But I think that people look at God as like, I'm already going through so much. I don't need another thing in my life
I do too.
rather than just like me, I've been on my living room floor, I've been on my bathroom floor, just bawling my eyes out. I could barely fold laundry, I could barely get a word out, and still in the midst of that, I felt him in my pain. And I remember in the grief, God told me something. He said, when I was angry at him, and I was just like, "Why?
Mm,
Why did you give me this man? Why did you allow me to love him and give him my soul and my heart? And
yeah.
I'm supposed to believe that you protect me?"
Mm,
Like I had these real conversations with God. And
mm,
so I remember like literally I had a vision in prayer. He sat next to me in the bathroom. He put his arm around me and I just saw this face of empathy and compassion.
mm,
And he said, "Ashley, don't you understand that my heart breaks for what breaks yours?
mm,
I'm hurting with you right now. And I didn't come to hurt you. I came to heal what they stole from you. I came to serve what was stolen and restore."
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm thinking about how you were saying in your most recent interview, you were saying that you've actually almost never felt love and safety. And I'm wondering if now, through all that experience, and now that you know that God was your unmovable force, do you now feel like you've experienced love and safety
Yeah,
from
but
him.
that didn't happen with no man,
Right,
okay?
right.
I'll tell you what, and that's what made me ooh, I mean, we could talk about this all day 'cause I also coach on this, and it's like, people need to understand, God was protecting me, and yes, there's a line in our growth with Jesus where it's like, we trust him with all, right? Like, he's all God, he's all control, but we're all moms here. You're a teacher.
Mhm.
God was looking at me in that same conversation, Jess, and was like, "You know what? Why don't you trust yourself the way I trust you with this?
Mm,
Mm,
Why
so
don't
true.
you see yourself the way I see you?
Mm, yep,
Why? All I want you to do is understand that, like, I'm cheering you on. You got this. You don't need anyone or anything to protect you. I'm the father that stands beside you and behind you, telling you I got your back. But, girl,
I know,
it's your job to protect you.
I
It's
know.
your job to create safety, peace, and security, honey. That doesn't involve other people. It's nice. I love to be taken care of. Look at these. Aren't they
Yeah.
pretty? But, like,
I miss those.
I know. I know. Girl, me too.
Not good,
yeah.
Ashley.
We joke about that, like,
The nails are off the
"Oh,
budget. It's
divorce
okay.
has
I'll get them
cut the
someday.
budget," but
But, like but here's the thing too with that, we laugh about it, but it's like, "Oh, I was still gonna get my own nails done at some point."
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's the
my
restoration
extensions
story.
are staying in. No one can take
Yeah,
the babies away. I
yeah. So, like, when you're like, you were rocking it out, it's very much like I was falling apart, but at the same time, my falling apart was also the motivation for where this was gonna go.
Mm,
Because I had that strong foundation that like, "Whew, God, okay, show me then.
yeah.
You
Mhm.
show me."
So are you saying that this kind of like epiphany or revelation is now deeper or more profound because of what you just went through, or did you
Yes.
already? Okay, yes, I love that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just
Can I
please let this be a
yeah.
prophetic conversation because it's like
No,
beyond
yeah,
yeah.
no, this that's what am I s what that's what I'm telling you when we talked about naked.
Hmm.
Like, when I tell you that I was truly healing, I had to confront so much of myself and what I was tolerating,
Yes.
and so no, that was profound now.
Okay.
I would actually love to talk about the lies I believed before this.
I would
Is that
love
okay?
that. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so one of the lies that I believed, and a lot of people aren't going to like this, but I don't believe in woke, I believe in awake. And if you don't want to wake up, that's on you. Okay. And so one of the things is that I believed God chose my husband. Like,
Mhm.
I'm, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Woo!
You make me
Can I get
out of this
so
one.
real?
I was lying to myself.
Can I, like, rip up the paper a little bit and get so real right
Yes,
now? Because I
please,
had to get
please.
real with myself, and let me do you the favor that you don't have to learn the hard way.
Mm.
Mm.
God does not choose your husband, okay? You choose who you're gonna marry. Wife or
Ooh,
husband, you choose your partner. You better choose carefully because
yeah.
it's your all choice also to honor God in your marriage in that covenant. Let's not cop out. We think we see the cute guy and we go and we're like, God, I think you said yes, that's the one for sure. God, like you hear church and you hear a lot of young people say, like, God's gonna bring me my husband. No, he ain't. And so that's one of the lies. A second lie, it kind of goes alongside that, is like, we have to stop using God in control as a cop out. Okay. And what I mean by that is that if your life falls to crap, you're like, God, just there's a reason. No, there probably wasn't. Just like Jacob wasn't supposed to have his father's favor, but in the blessing. But here we are.
Mm.
He made it
Mhm.
and he renamed him. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we forget free will is really free will. Like it truly is free will. And God's like, I'm alongside you. I'm giving you the power, the tools, and the strength, but you got to do it. You
Yeah.
got to walk. You
Yeah.
got to go. Abraham had to walk. Moses had to walk. Noah had to build the ark. Okay?
Wow.
Like you have to stop saying it wasn't in God's will. No, baby. No,
Right.
God could have made that happen for you if you really wanted it.
Yeah, we were just talking about a lot of this, and it's almost like you're saying there's an extent of saying, "Oh, God's in control," is almost a freeze. We were talking about fight, flight, and freeze. Like, it's
Mm.
easier to just not do anything and be frozen and say, "Well, God's in control," and He is, but you're kind of alluding to, but He
Personal
gives us
accountability.
the ability to actually do something about it.
Yeah, and the third lie is well, it's not even a lie. It wasn't something I was realizing I was doing, and I think a lot of people are starting to realize in the Christian culture is that the church taught us how to be very spiritual. They did not teach us how to be human,
Mm.
and Christians are the worst about gaslighting themselves.
Hmm.
We gaslight ourselves, and if we gaslight ourselves and we are believing all these things that aren't really biblical at all, because where in the Bible does it say that God chose your spouse? It doesn't.
Good point. Yeah. We talk a lot about the beauty of getting older. Like our last episode was what do you wish you could tell yourself in your 20s that you knew now? And one of them was, I wish I didn't just drink the Kool-Aid and every doctrinal thing that we learned in the,
Mm-hmm.
especially like growing up in the 90s, purity culture, covenants, don't kiss before you get married, all this stuff. I wish we took the time to explore. Is that in the Bible? Does Jesus say don't kiss anyone till you get married? Like, and it's just like that wasn't
Purity culture
encouraged.
was so toxic.
You
Yeah.
know? So it's very on brand what you're saying right now, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of us in this age are just even for the first time, why do I believe that? Not to deconstruct ourselves out of following the Lord, but it's like, well, what does the Bible say about that? What does the Bible say about women preaching? Do we really know? Do we know what we believe even when we say we believe it? So it's
The
like,
questions, we have to ask the questions, and God's not afraid of the questions. He's not afraid of your emotion or your feelings.
I love
He's
that.
not afraid of your doubt. He wants you to bring it. He's like, "Let's talk about it, sister."
Yeah.
Because how many people lie about they lie to themselves. So I'm telling you, sometimes I feel God vents to me too. It's my revelation, but also he's like, if only everyone else knew.
Especially, yeah. That our
And
kids.
so, yeah, like I was very and I'll tell you what, Jess, when I had a meeting with everybody about having to slow down and put a pause on the book launch, and you saw
So
me in tears, even then, I'll tell you the truth. And this is another lie I believe. Thank you, Jesus. This was another lie I believed. Was I genuinely thought for years when our marriage it was bad. It wasn't just like, oh, it's bad now. Bye. It was bad. I genuinely believe that if I got a divorce, then the will of God in my life would be destroyed. I thought my book wasn't going to happen. I can't write a book. I can't coach. I can't be on social media. My life is over because that's not God's will. I somehow
like the path, like you took
coded that.
the path you
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, but what God revealed to me in that time of separation and heartache and loss was that my will be done, no one else's will. I'm going to make it work because I purposed you to do it. This is a rock in the road. Doug made his choices. I'll say his name, okay?
I love
He's
that.
taking his accountability, responsibility. But like he made his own choices. What does that have to do with me making
Mm,
mine?
yes. And I wanna I can't help but jump ahead because this is one of the things I
Yeah,
was
it's
gonna
so
ask you,
good.
because I think when you were married, and then if you get a, divorce or you're in a transition or whatever, you're separated, don't you feel like your identity's robbed? Like, don't you
Yes.
feel like, oh, what's my you were on a
Mhm.
trajectory, right? You're a wife, and you have like, and your purpose and your value and just, yeah, your identity, especially in the Christian world, and you're a public figure. You literally have like 250,000 followers, you guys. So it's like people are watching you. So I can't even imagine the pressure there. But let's just stick to like normal everyday human life. What would you say to a divorced woman or someone who's going through this, or even just a horrible breakup where you're just so destitute and you feel like crap and you have no, like, tossed out and rejected and abandoned and all those emotions? Like, what would you say is something that would help you still feel confident or worthwhile in value? Like, and this is a lot of the themes that are in your book. Just what would you say to that woman that's just feeling like, oh, great, like now I can have a good career. No one's going to listen to me. Now I probably should quit my prison ministry because I'm just like this divorcee that's like, do I even have a right to speak and preach the word or whatever?
Well, my ADHD just kicked in, and I want to say that I love that we changed our questions because this was so
We also,
God.
we're not diagnosed, but it's like, it's our joke
Yeah.
that we are also.
We're all
Like
yeah.
yeah.
It's
And
so
then
good, though. It's like Holy Spirit took over a little.
Yeah.
yeah, because now I know it's just like I'm seeing more revelation of like, okay, I see
Mm,
tying that together.
mhm.
And so, you know, after I launched that book, Jess, I had to relearn confidence again. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
Yeah, please share because this is what we're all
Oh,
in.
I love it's like the thing her testimony in her book is about confidence, but after the book,
Like,
you now had to learn
little
it
did you know,
on a
right?
whole nother level. It's like, God holds the teachers to a high standard, and you were teaching on the topic, and he was like, "Oh,
Wow. Oh, I have goosebumps. Like,
let me
this is
give
gonna
you
for your second book, this is gonna be like a talking point.
yes, this is great."
I've already got a title for it and a talking point. Like I have to tell you
Can I think of it?
offline.
Don't share
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah, offline,
yeah,
offline.
Going into publicist
Yeah,
mode.
don't too early.
yeah. So with in regard of talking to women and what I would tell them, and having to learn my own new confidence that let me let me validate both Jesses by saying God giveth and God taketh away. Okay. Also, you're a treasure, you're valuable.
Yeah.
And if God, I want you to imagine yourself in the Lord's hand and he just admires you. You're a princess, you're royalty. That's what the confidence I did know. There was
Mm,
another part of that confidence that I did not know. Um, and that was that he gives us to someone, right? He's like, is that who you want? Is that the one? Okay,
mhm.
I'm trusting them with you. And then when they don't do good by you and they don't protect you and they don't provide for you and they're dishonest, God will take you back.
Wow, I
Li-
love that visual. That's so much better than being rejected and kicked and left on the side of the road, right? Like,
But
wondering
that's
if
the
you're still
vision that he
beautiful.
gave me in that whole process was
Oh my gosh.
he literally told me he's like, I'm just putting you back in my hand.
Ugh, yes, thank you. That
We're
was
going to get through this. So I would tell women that and I would tell them like you're not less than. You
yeah.
cannot reflect. And when I say reflect, that's what we're doing, but we're reflecting to realize how we're in the middle of becoming
Yeah.
what we were always meant to be. We're not less than, we're just realizing what we settled for and what
Yeah.
we truly were needing to become. And that the pain may have knocked the wind out of you. I
Mm,
validate that. I still feel the sting. I think we all do. It's very traumatic, but it didn't change your worth. It didn't change your worth. God doesn't see you as broken beyond repair. I hate that word.
yeah.
Okay. He sees you. Oof. Y'all get ready for this. He sees you as worthy of rebuilding.
Mm, yeah.
You're still whole, even if you feel like you've lost pieces, right? Because that's what it feels like. We've lost pieces of
Yeah,
ourselves,
it does.
which
Yeah.
make us question our identity. But those pieces can be restored. It's just He's going to do it if you
Yeah.
let Him
And we're
with you.
still his, and that's what I love. The visual I was getting too when you were saying he can take you back. I I thought of he because you said he gives and he takes away, and I thought of a father giving you away at the altar. But when you're not being treated right, he can take you away from the person who's mistreating you, but you're still
On.
his. You're his when he gave you away, he's his. You're his if he takes you back. It's not a loss or it's just a change of position. Like,
Mm,
it's just
mm.
amazing.
I'm divorced twice. To the one out there who's 50, 60, it doesn't matter, which is a main focal point of confidence is the inside job because you repeat it so many times. It doesn't matter what your life look like. Circumstance doesn't matter. God can make something beautiful beyond your wildest dreams, not just repair, right, guys? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, look at your life, Ashley, from where I mean, you had such,
Mm,
we should probably just ask you to share your story now, but
yeah. And there's so much more to come, but what
Well, go buy the book.
yeah,
Okay.
I feel,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna do a book giveaway too later. We'll talk about, but I think you wanted to ask about the reconciliation because I don't want to leave out. I know, but we don't leave out the good stuff.
If you don't mind sharing, where are you at in that process? Are you currently reconciling? Are you reconciled? Where are you at?
I um I don't really know what you mean by reconciled. I think that we individually are always a work in progress, and we made a decision. And it's been a great decision because we've both been intentional in our own parts individually, learning like, we're not in charge of each other's happiness. And I already knew that, but he didn't. And
Mm,
so when I didn't meet a certain appreciation or expectation, there was like, you know, a lack of awareness in the regard of resentment, this unconscious resentment. And then that made me feel like a bother or I wasn't good enough. And then it just became this cycle. And so we have been good more than we've ever been good. We laugh together. We've never done that. We're friends. We make jokes throughout the day. Like my life went from like silence, stay guarded, isolated
yeah.
to like just joy in my home. And you know how I know that what we're doing is working? I see it in the faces and my children. I see it in their joy.
Mm,
I see it in their security. I see it in their safety that we are creating the atmosphere that we always desired. Um
yeah.
and you know, I really want to just be honest. Like I was done with my marriage. Like I was done. Like
Mhm.
for real. Like I had a PSA sign, which is a property settlement agreement. I had a great lawyer. I was even kind of like opening myself up publicly, like, hey,
Yeah.
I love companionship and please come distract me. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, anyway, so I was very done and I was getting better. Like, I wasn't, like, just broken in my
Mm.
singleness and separation. I was, like, just getting over the heartache.
You
I
could
was very
tell in
much
watching you.
thriving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I follow you, so
and
it's like, wow.
yeah, but I think it took a reality check from him to see that I wasn't gonna settle. I wasn't gonna lower my standards or my boundaries because I knew that I deserved them no matter how painful that decision was to separate. At the end of the day, God said I deserve something and I need to obey that anointing and deserving.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't see it or she doesn't see it, if family doesn't see it, okay?
Mm, mm,
If these people in your life that are so important to you don't see it, God will release you. He will relieve you so he can restore you because you're still being restored. That's why I said like is there ever, and so with him though, it took and I need people to know individually because they're gonna want to know. I was in their shoes, okay? But like it took me being done, moving it on, like my confidence truly came out. My foundation with God really shined when
mm.
everything was breaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Your foundation with Jesus will really shine in those situations.
yeah.
You know? But with him, like, for him, he begged to come back. Like, he was like, "I'm willing to do the work." Like, he went from pride men are very
Yeah.
ego driven, and that's a good thing and also a bad thing. Ego and image should not come before your partner. Um, but also he was like, "Oh, she'll come back to me," because I used to always come back to
Mhm.
him.
Mhm.
Yep.
But
So,
I didn't, and he got scared, so he's like in that dividing of our souls and our covenant, he saw the value and he saw that I saw it too.
Wow.
yeah,
That's
And you either get on the train and you
yeah.
respect it and you become the man I deserve or get off, but I'm still going.
straight up.
So powerful.
Um, on that note of like basically kind of finally putting your foot down, do you feel like you've come to some revelations about, I know you spoke in your book about overcoming some abuse in your childhood and things like that. Do you think some of that played out in your marriage of where maybe did any of that play out where maybe you had a hard time setting those boundaries um and didn't realize it?
Yeah, I did a lot of therapy even throughout our marriage, and like I said, even more was revealed in the separation. And so I had I have complex PTSD and I struggle with depression and anxiety disorder. My brain was chemically messed up because
Yep.
since being a baby,
Yeah.
things that were my body was compromised, my vision was
Mhm.
compromised. And so when I see men in general, like I don't just see this person, I see a predator. My body wants to say predator. Um, and I also put walls up. Something I reflected and realized after the separation was that if I was a perfectionist, I was ambitious, like I was driven, and I realized like that's something that I also expected other people to be.
Yeah.
And if they didn't come to that standard, like if Doug was doing really, really good, this is something I learned. If Doug was doing really good and he made one mistake, I walls were up. I'm done with
Mm.
you.
Oh,
You're
interesting.
nothing. You're gonna hurt me. Go away. I'm good. I
And
was
it's
overly
subconscious. You didn't know
independent.
you were doing that. It's just
I
wild
didn't
how it works,
know. I
you
didn't
know?
know I was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I really had to get humble with God in that trauma response. And because that's what it was. It was a trigger.
Mhm.
And I had to become aware of how he was triggering me. That wasn't his responsibility to handle my triggers. That's not someone else's responsibility. So
Mm,
stop getting resentful towards your spouse or your partner.
mm,
It's ridiculous.
mm,
You're only responsible for your own feelings. And so I very much like was like, you're not responsible. And I actually I gave him too much responsibility and I depended on him too much for my emotional regulation. And so did he on
mhm,
me. And that's both from our trauma. Nobody was there for him emotionally to help him cope or,
mm,
he was driven off ego. Like, I'm performing, I'm performing, I'm performing. And if you didn't appreciate enough, which it's never enough, by the way, if
yeah,
you didn't appreciate enough, there was resent and he would go get it somewhere else. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
yep,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yep,
Um, but then at the same end for me, I was basically like, you're not a person. You have to be perfect and you have to follow a checklist.
Oh,
And if you're not, then you're like everybody else in my life.
wow.
mm,
Wow.
You're trying to hurt me like everybody else.
and this
And
go ahead, sorry.
this actually bled into all my relationships.
Okay,
Mm.
yeah,
But it took the separation for me to see that I was doing that when I chose to reconcile and restore. You have to look at yourself.
yes,
Like,
you know,
even if that person cheated and there was infidelity in my marriage, that's really what just the loss of trust. But like, you really genuinely have to humble yourself and be like, okay, but what was my part in it? It doesn't take away from their part,
yeah,
but like, God, deal with me.
yes, yeah,
And he was creating awareness because here's the thing: empathetic people draw narcissistic people to them.
mm,
We actually will find out a lot about who we are based on our relationships and people in our life.
do not get us
And
started, Ashley. We're in like a narcissist support group. But yeah, I just saw a reel that said the relationship you attract, it's like looking in a mirror where it's like
Mhm.
trauma sometimes can attract trauma.
Mhm.
And d- whatever you partner you're bringing into your life really reflects you. So if you're bringing constantly toxic,
Mhm.
narcissistic or needy people,
Yeah.
or people that put you down, that's how you feel about yourself, which isn't it's more like, well, that's your unhealed, it just reveals your need for
Right.
healing, right? Like we're all broken here. But
yeah.
fascinating, isn't it? And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
never knew any of this. Like just that.
Yeah. And I'm just so, I think you're so mature, and the fact that you both have come to a place where you can figure out that you were traumatizing each other and work through that, that's that takes a whole nother level of strength, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, your trauma, honestly, your childhood defines most of who you are. I talk about that in my book. But if we're not going to deal with that stuff, the other person is.
Yeah.
The other person's going to deal with
That's
it.
a good, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Um,
we're going to blame them.
yes.
Like, I didn't just see Doug for him as a person who also had pain points and frustrations and human
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
mistakes. I saw my dad.
Mm,
Mm,
I
yeah.
saw the man that harmed me. I saw the boyfriend that manipulated me.
wow.
I saw and treated him as if he was like everyone else. And that was a false security that I kept. And the only way to prove to me was you had to be perfect. And I didn't realize I was doing that.
Yeah. I hear that big time. I think it's a woman. I think that's common with women too. It's like performative, right? Just like I think a lot of us were raised to just be quiet and just be agreeable and just, for me, it was like be a good Christian wife. And it's like,
Mm,
doesn't work. And that's why would God want that? Right.
Yeah, and I know that we're coming to an end, so I really want to say this to the people that are listening if that's okay.
Mhm.
Is yes, we're back and we're working towards restoration, but I really need people to understand this because I made this mistake and it didn't work out the first time. But it's intentional, it's not instant. It's intentional, it's not instant.
Mm,
And then the biggest shift was both of us choosing healing individually. That was a
mm,
boundary before trying to fix anything together.
that's good. Yeah.
And then I don't think, and also my advice is don't try to drag someone into reconciliation. Don't look at my story and listen to my story. This is a disclaimer and be like, okay, well, there's hope for her. There's hope for me for sure. For sure there is. But also, when you listen to this, please solely focus on you.
Mm,
Okay? We truly do tend to put our identity in what we do and what we've been through and like people around us. And once that rocks, you're going to find out who you really are.
yeah.
You're going to be naked,
Yep.
you know? And
So good.
so I really want people to understand that let your healing speak for itself, like I did. Okay. And if it's meant to be restored, God will guide the timing. The
Mm,
timing does belong to Him. So
yes.
God will guide the timing. So don't shrink yourself into waiting for it.
mm,
Mm. Oh, that's so good. It's so hard, but it's so true. So
mm.
true. Thank you for your transparency, your honesty. I wasn't sure where how much you'd be willing to share. And I just love that. I feel like your story is so right now, it sounds like an answered prayer. I feel like reconciliation, all that. And I'm so happy. But I love that you shared that there's so much good that came out of the real SH show that it sounds like this last year was for you. And that's my thing with going through a divorce. It's like no one wants a divorce, but there's so much like God's not done with you. Like you could be a whole new you. Like he can restore everything. But
No,
yeah,
I
I mean,
really feel like I have genuine takeaways. Like my heart feels, I don't know.
full.
Yeah, it's bubbling with
Yeah.
things that I want to remember from this interview. Thank you. Um, so before we go, are there any projects that you're working on next or things you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah. So, I'd love to obviously invite your listeners to grab my book, Confidence is an Inside Job. And understand that this is for women, but I've had men read it too, who are done faking it and ready to finally feel grounded in who they are and understand that confidence in Christ isn't based on how loved you feel by others. And then also, I'm just saying it like I got a podcast too. It's called Confidence and Coffee.
We got all of
um,
that.
Yes, yeah.
yeah, and we talk about all the above. And so I would love you can listen to it anywhere. You can get the book anywhere. And then I have a coaching community called the Inner Circle. It's an affordable way to get coaching by me. So if this touched you and you read the book and you listen to the podcast and you want to do more, um, check out the Inner Circle. It has all my trainings that you have all access to. You have
Mm,
access to the other community members. And then I coach you once a month live in session on the spot.
that's
So
awesome.
thank you.
And where can everyone find you? And you're on TikTok and Insta. Are those the two? We're gonna put
Uh,
all these links in the show notes.
like, I'm just You can find me everywhere. You can find me on YouTube, Ashley Henriott. I'm very simple. You can find me on Instagram, Ashley.Henriott, because somebody took that name. And then you can find me on TikTok as Ashley Henriott. I'm also on Facebook and Pinterest because I just need to check the boxes.
Yeah.
But so, check me out, message me. I love to connect with people.
We're going to put all these in the links. And we're also going to do a book giveaway.
Yeah.
So,
What? I want to know about a book giveaway.
and you know what? I moved because I got a divorce. So I don't have all my books, like they went in a box. I donated. I'm like, I can't believe I don't have your book. I wanted to hold it up. But I mean, I got
I
everything.
can for you. It's okay.
Oh, thank you. There's just nothing like holding it up because the cover, it's like just the best. Yes. Thank you. So,
Yes, there it is. Okay. So if you'd like to win that book, right?
Yep.
Are we doing that? Okay.
and a scented fall candle, just because.
Yeah. We're going to add that in. We'd like you to follow us on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, and comment. And then we're going to put your name into a random name drawer, and we will contact you if you win, and we will send you her book.
And we're going to announce the name on the podcast we post on October 1st, so that you know if you won or not. Do we have time for wins and fails, Ashley? Do you have to run?
I think we do.
Okay.
Cute.
So
I was like, please, I really thought about it.
we need a win after this conversation. So anybody that watches or follows us knows that we talk about a win and a fail, something that we're proud of or exciting that happened this week, and then also a fail because we believe there's victory and transparency in talking about our fails so we don't feel so alone. So we're gonna let you take it. What do you want to do first, win or fail?
Let's do the fail. Let's just get it over. Let's rip the band off. I told myself that I'd meal prep this week because my kids are fully back, but then I just DoorDash 5 days in a row.
Did you really? Okay, that's real. that's dang. Gotta like get your nails done and your DoorDash 5 times.
Listen, homeboy got a new job, baby. But anyways,
Oh, the Lord is.
yes, we're embracing balance, okay?
Well put. Very diplomatic. Okay.
And the win, and so with that being said, the win for the week is I paused when I would have pushed, okay? And I felt peace instead of guilt.
That's good. That could be so applicable to so much.
So much.
If only,
Yeah.
right? If
Don't
only.
DoorDash 5 days in a week.
A win.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's like
That's great.
social media for me. It's like, ooh, what restaurant's on there today?
Oh,
I have a
yeah.
problem. I have a real problem.
The extreme.
I know. Yeah,
Like,
I never
I'm gonna
DoorDash. That's like
to
special.
straight up, not
Yeah.
just take.
Oh, I know.
But DoorDash 5 days a week too. Not 1 day. Oh,
Look, listen, Jessica.
No,
I got a free
no
subscription. Listen. I got a free subscription to HBO Max because I bought the DoorDash for pass
there you
thing.
go.
Oh, interesting.
There you go.
Oh,
Win-win.
life hack.
You got to see the silver lining, okay?
And those wings were life changing.
they were a little dry, but that's another thing.
Well, they're in the car. They're in the car for 50 minutes, but it's okay, DoorDash. We love you and we appreciate you, DoorDash.
Yes. Free advertising.
Well, thank you, Ashley. It's been
Yes.
amazing.
Thank you
Really
so
appreciate
much.
your honesty and your heart. You're doing such amazing things out there. So I just can't wait to follow your story and see all the amazing things
what's
that are going to happen in this next year. So
I know. I'm so excited for this next book.
Yeah.
That I'm working on.
Yay.
All right.
know.
Can't wait to hear more.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for joining us, Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.